afternoon. We have an herb spotlight today. And I have used this herb and I'm currently making a tincture with this. Today's herb is mullein. Specifically in this case, it's dried mullein leaf. You can use the roots, the plant, the roots, the flowers, and the leaves. This is a 4-ounce bag of mullein leaf, and you can tell that I've used some of this here. I got this bag of mullein the same place that I got the astragalus root that I used in the elderberry syrup at Mountain Rose Herbs. I also got, while I'm at it, this Lifeline Medicinal Herb Garden packet. It is about, I think it's 13 packets of seeds. And this is an entire herb garden. Now, where I'm going to put all these, I am really not sure yet, but it was quite a selection. And let me tell you what comes in it. Burdock, calendula, German chamomile, echinacea, I can't even read that. Elecampane, I have not even looked that up yet. Evening primrose, brown flax, feverfew, I'm going to use that a lot. Lemon balm, to add to my current crop of lemon balm. Marshmallow is a wonderful plant. Motherwort, official motherwort. Stinging nettle, cayenne pepper, garden sage, holy basil, valerian root, valerian, wood betony, and yarrow. That's what comes in this Lifetime Herb Garden packet that they sell. And in addition to that, I also picked up some mullein seed. Now, mullein is a rather large plant, as you can see from the picture I'm going to put up here. It's a woolly leafed biennial plant, meaning it doesn't flower until the second year. The first year it comes up with this silvery rosette, and the second year it puts out this giant stalk of beautiful yellow flowers all along the stalk that smell kind of like honey, I understand. But I just started a mullein leaf tincture today, and what I did, all it was is an ounce of this. You need a scale, okay? If you're gonna do herbs, you really kind of need a food scale if you don't already have one. It was 1 ounce of mullein, and you can use the flowers and the leaves. This is just the leaves right here, dehydrated leaves. You use 1 ounce of mullein. It's supposed to be at least 4 ounces of vodka. I put this in a pint jar. It basically, I used an ice cream scoop to kind of push it down in there so I could get all of that whole ounce in there. Because it's very fluffy, and you have to kind of push it down, press it down to get the whole ounce in that pint jar. And then I filled it up to over the top of the mullein with a 90 proof vodka. And I closed that up, and I dated it as to when I started it. It has to stay in a dark, cool place for 3 to 4 weeks. I'm just going to do it for 4 weeks. So that'll put me about the 16th of October or so. Mullein is wonderful for respiratory illness. One reason I went ahead and started this tincture. Gotta have this in the wintertime. And the way you would use the tincture once it's actually cooked, for lack of a better word, is you would take a dropper, possibly take 20 to 30 drops, and take that every say 3 hours until your viral symptoms are gone, or your cold symptoms, or whatever the condition is, cough, cold, whatever you've got. Now, mullein's also called lungwort, if you've heard of lungwort. Let me see. It treats, of course I said respiratory disorders, coughs, asthma, and it can be ingested. It can be used as a poultice on wounds. And you can actually smoke mullein. Now, I don't endorse anybody smoking anything, because I just have a thing about smoking. But apparently it's a healing smoke that you breathe into your lungs to treat your lungs. So I guess in a way that kind of makes sense, but I would never smoke anything. Just with my family's history of death by smoking, I just wouldn't, even though this is not the same thing exactly. This is a treatment. Like a breathing treatment, I guess you would say. But anyway, you can actually infuse an oil with the mullein to treat earaches. Of course, it treats sore throat, and it has a very strong antibacterial and a strong antiviral. It's really good to use for herpes or flu or whatever. Now, there have been no reports of toxicities with Mullen or really adverse side effects that I could find. There may be other places that say that there are some kind of side effects. It seems to be a fairly safe herb to use, but I'm not giving you medical advice, okay? This is something you need to research on your own. You need to see if there's any contraindications, like I've said repeatedly, for an herb, if you have a condition or you're taking a certain medication. But also, Mullen is used to treat gastrointestinal distress like diarrhea, treats inflammation and pain. Of course, topically for wounds, burns, bruises. It is good for treating E. coli or staph infections. And of course, like I said, you can use it as a tincture, an oil, or a tea. I have used it as a tea. Mullen has a rather bitter taste. That is why most of the time it's not candy, people. What I did was I have a commercially bagged detox tea that I use, and which has burdock and some other things that are on that list in that medicinal herb garden. But I have this detox tea, and I started steeping a tea bag, and I took this neat little spoon, this little teaspoon, literal teaspoon. This is a really cool thing here. This, you squeeze it and it opens up like that, and I scoop out the mullein. I fill it about half full of the mullein leaves, and I threw some sage in there too, some dried sage. And I put this down into the tea that was steeping, the detox tea. And I steeped the tea for about 10 minutes. And so this is a spoon. You can stir it around, swish it around. I think this only cost me like $3, something like that. I got this also from Mountain Rose Herbs. Really cool little thing for tea. But anyway, we are really facing some interesting, what somebody called medical Armageddon, with doctors against violating their Hippocratic oath, violating the patient's Bill of Rights, and sometimes refusing to treat people if they refuse to bow to the current agenda and get this experimental gene modification injected into their body. And if you have not seen it, I think I'll try to link this emergency room and ICU nurses video. Has a massive amount of information in it. I would suggest that you listen to every single one of the 50 minutes of this video. I did this morning, and it's mind-blowing. It'll make you angry, it'll make you informed, and you might change your mind about a few things. But because of what's going on now, you have to be your own advocate, and you have to take your health into your hands. This is great for the respiratory stuff. Just about everything I do has to do with boosting your immune system, or pain relief, or something like that. Because of my husband's, we already grow wild lettuce, what is also called opium lettuce. My husband has an extract made from that. And it's just now it's just this year put out the flowers. I mean, you've seen me talk about it for, I guess, ever since we planted the stuff. And there's only like one plant, but it's a very tall plant. We got the seeds from it, and he made an extract out of the flowers of it. So, and the leaves, whatever. But most herbs like this are going to have a rather bitter taste. In that tea, all I did was put, after it cooled down a little bit, a little raw honey in there for flavor, for taste. If you want the tea hot, just put your whatever honey. It's going to lose the enzyme benefit in the honey, but you're just sweetening it with something natural. But anyway, And every day we're taking our elderberry syrup now. We're taking, now I added in the description box of the elderberry syrup making video the admonition about children under 1 year old should not have honey. There's some kind of specific thing to do with botulism for young children, that their bodies can't process that somehow. And I had forgotten to put that on the video. Most people know that. But the syrup itself is made without honey. You can substitute maple syrup for that. If you want to give it to your children, just substitute maple syrup, and they'll be fine, even under 1 year old. Also, I put the recommended way to use it in the description box of that video that I forgot to put in there. You know, that video took a while, and I figured I'd forget a couple of things in there, but I put those in the description box because there's a thing you do. You take this every day as a preventative. And then if you actually see you're coming down with something, you actually bump that up several times a day as a treatment. So that's the same with Mullen. Same thing with Mullen. You would make yourself a tea several times a day. You would take the tincture several times a day if you were fighting something. We all need to really get with the program, people. We're going to have to go back to the way medicine was in the beginning, using herbs and spices, leaves, flowers, plants as medicine, which is the way Big Pharma started, but they have gone rogue. And I don't need to tell you what's been going on. If you've got your eyes open and you've done any research. Yeah, but anyway, I've got these herbs, and I'm going to have to fix the herb beds over the winter time and figure out what I'm doing. All my carrots have germinated, and so I've got my carrot bed going for the fall. But come spring, that bed, after I harvest the carrots, all those raised beds, those 3 raised beds in there, they're all going to have herbs in them. Probably 2 per bed, I would think. I'm also growing lavender, and I meant to look up what the heck melatonin actually is. But you know, I've got the lavender, I've got the chamomile, I've got the lemon balm, I've got the valerian in this packet to grow, and I hope they all take off. But y'all, we really, really, really need to take care of ourselves. And Mullen is a really great herb. I've heard the Patriot Nurse talk about Mullen. It's just, you know, you just always know that when all the current medicines that you take, the commercial medicines, are always flavored, sugared up, sweetened with something. Now they always have some kind of flavoring in them. So don't let the taste turn you off of any of this stuff. Raw honey's the best thing on the earth. just grab you some raw honey, okay? Or put it in another kind of tea. Or just, you know, do a tincture where you put it down the back of your throat so that it just goes down and you don't taste a whole lot on your tongue. But, you know, this is what we're going to have to do to take care of ourselves, people. I mean, this is just, I don't see a way around it now. I just don't see a way around it. So get your garden beds ready, and a little dirt never hurt. Go out there and get it under your fingernails, and, well, yeah, a lot of dirt. It's going to be a lot of dirt. Take care, everybody, and yeah, look up some more benefits of Mullen, and if you have, do some more research. The thing about Mullen I was reading, the thing about drugs, it was in a drug thing, a drug site about drugs, and it had Mullen as a drug, a natural drug, and it just said that there's no research for any contraindications. It doesn't say they know anything. There's no adverse effects that they can tell. There's been no reports of toxicity with it. So I would say it's fairly safe. Most herbs you're not going to overdose on. You're just not. If you take a lot of something, you may end up with some stomach upset or something, but you're not going to truly overdose on an herb like this. So have a great weekend, and we'll catch you later. Bye.